Henning, thank you so much for joining us here at IMpower. Great to see you again, and it's sort of challenging and exciting and changing times at the moment we're living through. So what does that mean for your industry, and what interesting conversations are you having already?
Yeah, you're right. So the last time that we saw each other, we were kind of going through these windows of lockdown, opening up and so on, and this time it's feeling pretty open. So that's first of all a great thing, because it means that we can actually go out and see customers and partners. And from our perspective, we found actually that the pandemic has been generally good for our business. We've seen people selling out of their positions and then coming back into positions, subject to how concerned they were with how the markets were going. We've also found that technology has suited us very well. Things like Zoom, Teams, we've managed very well, but there's still nothing quite the same as being able to see people face to face every now and again, or breaking bread, and especially for new clients, I guess.
So what are the key threats that fund managers are facing at the moment in terms of distribution? I know is something you'd like to talk about, and how is that current model being challenged even then? Everything seems to be evolving very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of consolidation taking place in the market. There've been when I first started at Calastone 4.5 years ago, there was a variety of different distributors who were out there, but now there's three main ones, if you like. And we've seen a lot of consolidation amongst the asset management segment and asset servicing segment as well. I think that one of the biggest things that organizations are facing, challenges they're facing, is around fee compression. How do they cope with justifying the fees which they're charging to their customers? And so I think one of the biggest challenges that the industry is facing is around remaining relevant to what it is that they're doing. Because increasingly we are becoming commoditized. So in a more commoditized world where many of our services and products resemble each other's, how do we step outside of that to really attract new business and to keep clients happy?
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it there, keeping clients happy, should be at the heart of it. I mean, how in that sort of evolving fund distribution environment and the evolving capabilities, the end client and their expectations has got to be at the heart of it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so absolutely it's critical to make sure that you are keeping the end client happy, especially as you look to grow your business and you look to seek new clients as well, because you can never take your eye off the ball of who you already have. You need to make sure that they're happy. Increasingly we're seeing things like ESG being a main topic of discussion. I like to think of ESG more also as in the context of having a purpose. So if you have a business, if you have a brand, and your brand means X, it might just mean scorched earth and make as much money as possible, or it could be, well, actually we're investing for the future, these are the things that we're doing, and values become, I think, very important in making sure that you're doing that. And of course then being able to scale your business to being able to get access, being able to find those new clients whilst having as scalable a business as possible. Or you could possibly go the other way and you really become an expert, and you really focus on a niche specialty, or you focus on delivering client service or looking after your relationships. But the industry, the business seems to be going in two different ways.
So changing expectations there, and also we're seeing a slight shift in terms of the model as well, in that D2C seems to be on the rise. What impact will that have on the future of distribution, do you think?
Yeah, D2C or direct to customer is definitely on many asset managers' agenda. For a few different reasons. Well, first of all, it gives them access to the end customer, and so therefore they can cut out the middleman, or they can reduce their distribution costs by getting rid of the intermediary. But it also allows them to take control of the client experience themselves. And so, I think from a puristic perspective, it makes a lot of sense to do it. Realistically, it's quite difficult though to manage it, because you go from dealing with a small number of wholesale organizations who you work with and you have a very professional relationship, to one where actually you have to start to deal with direct retail investors. And I think it's a very big step away from the historical asset management business, where the business of asset management was involved in managing portfolios, delivering alpha or beta or whatever the investment strategy is. But it's really around trying to get closer access and to control that experience. The key thing for that to be successful is technology. If we take another parallel back to how we started our discussion as well, one of the things that we've seen in the pandemic is restaurants who are now serving or delivering food directly, for example. And the reason they had to do that is because they couldn't leverage the typical normal way of doing things. And so I think that the pandemic has been a catalyst for change and has made people realize things in their professional lives, in their personal lives, that actually technology and access really gives those businesses a better chance of being successful and staying relevant.
Henning, it sounds like you're going to have some fascinating conversations this week. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. Nice to see you.